There's an article out in the New York Times today by Kenneth Vogel and Shane Goldenmacher that I really want to talk about because it reminds me of something that Congresswoman Janelle Bynum said in the town hall that I attended over the weekend. The article is called "With Orders, Investigations, and Innuendo, Trump and GOP Aim to Cripple the Left." The president and his allies in Congress are targeting the financial, digital, and legal machinery that powers the Democratic Party and much of the progressive political world. So in the town hall on Saturday, the Congresswoman said, Project 2025 was not a secret. We knew that the Heritage Foundation had this plan, and we knew that Trump was going to roll it out. And so now we need something to counter it. We need a plan. And one of my senators in a previous town hall had said, I want a Democratic Project 2029. And I was like, that is way too far. That's too late. And to the Congresswoman, I said under my breath that where is the plan from the Democrats to counter Project 2025? If you knew this was coming, why did you not have a plan ready to roll out on day one? Why are you still coming to your constituents in March of 2025 and saying we need a plan? There is no strategy. There is no cunning. There is no plan. There's no long range thinking at all. And there's just where is the tactical skill of the Democratic Party? They're just floundering if they are still begging their constituents on March, 16th of 2025 to help them come up with a plan to fight this. They have rolled out a significant portion of it already. And someone else in the back was like, you won't ever see another dollar from us until y'all have a plan. Why are the Democrats so incapable of forming and implementing a plan? I don't understand. They're smart people. Why don't they have a plan? And so I saw this article this morning and I was like, here's yet another way. The Republicans are savvy and ruthless. They have all of these plans of attack coming from all angles, and we are unprepared for them. Why? Why should we be unprepared for any of this shit? They have not made a secret of it. So let me read you a little bit of this because I don't understand how big law firms, Democrats, everybody who opposes fascism did not see this plan of attack coming. They seem to be blindsided by every new initiation of some horrible plan to dismantle democracy and to cripple anybody who wants to fight for the Constitution and our way of life. Executive actions intended to cripple top Democratic law firms, investigations of Democratic fundraising and organizing platforms, ominous suggestions that nonprofits aligned with Democrats or critical of President Trump should have their tax exemptions revoked. Deeply concerning in the last few days, we have seen the Trump regime maligning Act Blue, going after Act Blue, which is a platform through which people can donate to their local grassroots pro-democracy organizations. They are trying to cut off funding by character assassinating, by spreading lies. Again, this is a side that has no compunctions about lying. They are not constrained by the truth at all. And so they are trying to vilify. Dismantle, defund all of these organizations that are working to try and fight back against fascism. And these folks just seem like, we didn't see this coming. There is no limit to how ruthless these guys will be. And so we should anticipate that. And yet, Mr. Trump and his allies are aggressively attacking the players and machinery that power the left, taking a series of high partisan officials' actions that, if successful, will threaten to hobble Democrats' ability to compete in elections for years to come. When folks like Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries say that we're focused on the midterms, this is why I say I am worried there will not be free and fair elections. It's not that they're just going to rig the vote or we won't have a vote at all. It's that the voter suppression will be really bad. It's that the billionaire fascists will flood these races. And it's that there is right now an active campaign to make it as difficult as possible for Democrats to put forth candidates and run campaigns for them. This is absolutely a huge problem. And that's why I'm worried about the midterms. The article says, a small group of White House officials have been working to identify targets and vulnerabilities inside the Democratic ecosystem, taking stock of previous efforts to investigate them, according to two people familiar with the group's work. It is not unusual for partisans in Congress or their outside allies to push for investigations into political groups on the other side of the aisle, but using the levers of government to target the opposition has long been considered an abuse of power, sometimes leading to prosecution. Mr. Trump himself was impeached in 2019 for pressuring the Ukrainian government to investigate the Bidens. Mr. Trump's continued willingness to defy that norm, including a grievance-filled speech at the Justice Department on Friday, during which he name-checked a litany of critics, calling them horrible people, thugs, or scum, including Mark Elias, who runs Democracy Docket. This has Democrats sounding the alarm. The breadth is breathtaking, said Cole Leiter, executive director for Americans Against Government Censorship, a coalition of progressive groups and labor unions created last year to defend an anticipated Republican assault. Taken together, Mr. Leiter said the efforts amount to attempt to cut the legs out from their opposition. Skipping down. Undermining the left would amount to follow through on Mr. Trump's campaign promises to seek retribution against his perceived enemies. This sentiment has been echoed and expanded upon by some of Mr. Trump's closest advisors. The billionaire Elon Musk, the top Trump donor, leading the administration's cost-cutting initiative. I wish they would just say it what it is. It's the gutting and dismantling of the entire federal government. I don't know why they call it a cost-cutting initiative, but okay. Billionaire Elon Musk has appeared to encourage investigations of institutions that form the financial backbone of the left. This is getting to what I was talking about that I saw a couple days ago. This includes Act Blue, the donation platform that helps fund virtually the entire Democratic Party, and that congressional Republicans are already probing. Something stinks about Act Blue, Mr. Musk wrote March 7th in one of several social media posts he made about the platform. A day later, he claimed without any evidence that Act Blue was funded by Democratic mega donors, including Herb Sandler, who died in 2019. That's not true. It's where we, the regular Americans, donate to causes and campaigns, etc. The spokeswoman for Act Blue denied that the group was funded by any of the people that Musk named, living or dead. The only funders are small dollar donors that work sacrificially to fund worthy campaigns and causes. The article goes on to talk about the effort by Republicans to expand the investigation and attacks against Act Blue and other ways that folks fundraise for the Democratic Party. For now, Republicans are making wild claims about illegal activity at Act Blue with little to no evidence, but congressional Republicans believe the Trump administration will be far more cooperative in providing financial records to fuel their investigations than Biden was. They want the Treasury Department, sorry, I'm sliding off the bed. They want the Treasury Department to turn over documents about Act Blue and to have government oversight over them. Of course, it is James Comer of Kentucky who is spearheading this. He's got to be one of the most morally bankrupt, corrupt, like just, I can't. So part of the issue here is that there are some Republicans claiming that Act Blue is funded by terrorism or is part of a terrorist organization. And guess what? Remember, we had Congress pass that bill that said that you could take away the tax-exempt status of nonprofits if they were deemed to be terrorist supporting organizations. That's AIPAC did that, right? That was to take away funding from pro-Palestinian liberation groups. But there were so many people sounding the alarm that if Trump was reelected, that he would use this against any nonprofit that he deemed to be in opposition to him or that he wanted to enact retribution against. We also have Andy Biggs, another piece of work from Arizona, investigating whether Act Blue allowed Democrats to skirt the integrity of federal campaign finance laws. Kash Patel, the new FBI director, a Trump loyalist and absolutely deranged person, has reportedly expressed willingness to work aggressively to comply with Republican congressional oversight. And a close Trump ally predicted that at an event with Donald Trump and the FBI, they would soon start to take action on Act Blue. Democrats are worried that what is happening to Act Blue may be the harbinger of what's in store for other Democratic institutions. The article then goes on to talk about Trump's attack against Democratic-leaning law firms, folks who maybe worked for Kamala Harris's campaign or who had any part in investigations against Trump or any lawsuits against Trump, that he is seeking personal retribution. Personal grievance also figured heavily into directives Mr. Trump recently issued restricting access to government information and contracts for lawyers or firms that he associates with his critics. Trump tried to issue an executive order. I believe a judge has stopped much, if not all of it, where he tried to restrict a law firm from being able to conduct business because one of its lawyers, Mark Pomerantz, was working on building a criminal case against Trump several years ago when he was at the Manhattan DA. This is absolutely petty retribution. This is absolutely an abuse of power. But the reason that I wanted to talk about it and bring it up is here we see the Republicans are ruthless. They are willing to have multiple plans of attack from multiple angles that the Democrats just seem caught unawares of every time it happens. They seem unprepared for these assaults. I don't know how they don't anticipate, how they are not ready for this, and that they have no counter plan of attack. This is what is frustrating the shit out of me. We know that the current leadership in the Democratic Party is not equipped for this moment in time. But what is it going to take for them to get some strategy, for them to create some plans and to start to fight back? And it cannot be asking constituents at a town hall what the plan is.